Talut story, part number 5. Subscribe to my channel. After listening to my talk, he said in a very polite tone, I will provide these things, but I am not familiar with these things, so I will get these items from the same people who make these things. I will provide these things tomorrow. Of course, give it tomorrow. I told Rasim and Rasim disappeared as he had come. Talot was smiling at me. The fleet of foreign girls was drowned. I took a deep breath and said while looking at Talot, and Talot burst out laughing. Why not spend the night under the open sky instead of a closed room? Talut said, yes, it's still a few hours before dawn, but the police will be looking for me all over the city. I said thinking, well, why are you worried about me? Talut said, tell me what you think about the trip, I asked. What does mean? Talut looked at me questioningly. It means that you must have seen airplanes flying in the air. There are other ocean liners that travel across the ocean, making the journey long but very enjoyable. While the journey by plane is short, I explained. Then again, the sea voyage will be good because I have spent a lot of time at the head of the winds. Talut said, Waqtam. In the morning we came out of the park and started walking on the road. We had spent the night awake and chatting, but the presence of Talut and the coming happy thoughts were refreshing the mind strangely. What do you think? Let's have breakfast, Talut said. We entered the restaurant in front. Talut paid the bill after enjoying the food. Why should I go for a tour of Nabandarga? I said, and Talut was happy. He pointed to a taxi passing by on the road. I think you have run out of currency, said Talut. Yes, when the police caught them, everyone was arrested. I said, then put this. He shoved 2 rolls of notes into my pocket. And I took a deep breath and started looking out of the moving car. People were walking on the road and life was going on. After some time we reached the area of Bandaga, and after paying the bill I took Talut to an area where the ships were seen. Talut was happy to see the ships. How beautifully they are made, why not see one of them from the inside? Talut said, yes, but such permission will not be given. I said, hey, who needs permission? Talut said and put his hands on my eyes and shook them. The scene had changed. We were standing on the deck of a ship. We toured the entire ship. After finishing here, they reached a hotel and took a room and started resting. When I opened my eyes, it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Talut was lying on a chair and thinking. You didn't sleep. The need was not felt. But hunger is intense. Oh, you should have eaten. I got up quickly and rang the bell and ordered a bar to eat and went to the washroom to freshen up. When I came back, Talut was waiting on the dining table. While eating, Talot said that Rasim had given the required equipment. After finishing the meal, I saw the papers and jumped in surprise. Hey, it also has an international visa. Yes, I instructed Rasim later. Talut, is there any work that you cannot do? Yes, there are many tasks which are not within my capacity. Talut said carelessly. We went to the office of a shipping company and asked the booking manager to book an expensive cabin on the plane. What doesn't happen with wealth? After finishing here, we came to the market for shopping, and then on the footpath in a crowded market, I saw my photo on the front page of a newspaper and a sensation ran through my body. Talut. I pressed Talut's shoulder. I am. Talut was shocked. Look here. I pointed to the footpath. He went ahead and picked up the newspaper. The dangerous criminal then escaped by swimming in the eyes of the police. And my photo was hidden under it. According to the news, the police said that the criminal is very dangerous and mysterious, but the police will not only arrest him soon, but this time we will not be able to set the police on fire. Talut started smiling. Are you smiling? It is made on my soul, I said while swallowing saliva. Stupidity. You showed cowardice again. Talut rolled his eyes. Hey, the police has challenged that they will arrest him soon, and this time the criminal will not be able to escape. It is possible that they will break my legs as soon as they catch me. I snorted. Well, this is the matter, so we will go straight to the police station from here. I will see who says something to you if it were me. Talut threatened. Hey, no. I folded my hands. Let's go shopping. I see who is saying something to you. Talut took my hand and moved forward. What could I do? After shopping for a long time, we went to the hotel. The next morning, I called for all the newspapers and saw that my picture was printed in all of them. Talut started smiling again and I sat down with my mouth shut. If my friend were mine, nothing would happen. Talut said, "Get up, let's go somewhere." I got up unwillingly. At that moment my face fell on the front mirror. I was shocked and after some time a smile appeared on my lips. My face changed into an old man's face. When it happened, "Oh my friend," I said with love. "Your appearance has changed since the night when you showed the newspaper in the market." Talut smiled, and I hugged this strange friend of mine. "Let's go have fun today." We entered a market and we were walking around. I saw a man with a handkerchief on his shoulder passing by and said, "Listen to the song and spend the night very sweet." He went on saying, "Hey Arif, what has this man said?" Talut said, "Let's go ahead." I said, "Do not tell me what is the matter." Talut objected, "Dude, there are lofts where there are prostitutes. They sing songs and take money. There are many rondons." I tried to explain that such men go around the markets looking for customers. "Let's see how it all happens." Talut said, "Hey no, that place is not for the nobles." I was shocked, "But we are polite, let's listen to the song." Talut objected. I was helpless in front of his desire. After a while we were climbing the stairs of an upper room. We reached upstairs. There was quite a large hall-like room. A carpet was laid on one side. An old heroine was sitting and cutting a scarf. Two beautiful girls were sitting next to him. There were spectators sitting on three sides of the room, in which one by one, a vulgar figure was swinging with garlands of flowers around their necks and petals pressed on their cheeks. A girl was dancing in the middle. Talut was watching all this with interest, and I was feeling strangely shy. I too had a new experience of coming to such a place. We also sat a few steps away from the spectators. The old and experienced lady had guessed on seeing us that we were the new birds in the cage and had a smile on her lips. Talut was watching the dance with great interest. He leaned towards me and said, "We also have such gatherings, but on the occasion of the celebration, the atmosphere there is also different. But here only wealth is wasted." I said, "How is that?" Talut asked. "Look at this intellectually blind man holding a jinaat and shaking it." I drew attention to a spectator sitting in front of him. The dancing prostitute reached the person who gave the note and sat on two knees in front of him, pointed to the person who gave the note and sang the two lines of the song and went ahead with the note. "I will also give," Talut whispered. "Come on, you'll have to do it, but wait now," I said. At that moment, a girl sitting next to the heroine came towards us with a plate of pan in her hand and offered pan. "Do what?" Talut asked, looking at me holding the pan in his hand. "Now that they have come here, what's wrong in eating pan too?" I said with a smile. I took out the dry note and put it in the bag. The 100 note had a full effect on the prostitutes. The dancer sang in front of us, and sat on two knees in front of Talut, and started singing. I took out a 100 note and placed it on Talut's cheek, which the dancer took and started to get up. I took out another note. The dancer sat down. Talut took out a big note from his pocket and gave it to the dancer. The dancer started to get up. I thought Talut would have taken out the note. "This is an insult, Your Nawab sir, as if we people have no status." A loud voice echoed and the singing dancer fell silent. I looked at the voice in shock. A gentleman with a big mustache was sitting in a shiny shavani. He looked like a badass. There were many people around him and one of them said this. Nawab Sahib's mouth stopped twitching and his big eyes turned red. "I will also give," Talut whispered. "Come on, you'll have to do it, but wait now," I said. At that moment, a girl sitting next to the heroine came towards us with a plate of pan in her hand and offered pan. "Do what?" Talut asked, looking at me holding the pan in his hand. "Now that they have come here, what's wrong in eating pan too?" I said with a smile. I took out the dry note and put it in the bag. The 100 note had a full effect on the prostitutes. The dancer sang in front of us, and sat on two knees in front of Talut, and started singing. I took out a 100 note and placed it on Talut's cheek, which the dancer took and started to get up. I took out another note. The dancer sat down. Talut took out a big note from his pocket and gave it to the dancer. The dancer started to get up. I or Talut would have taken out the note. This is an insult, Yo Nawab sir, as if we people have no status. A loud voice echoed and the singing dancer fell silent. I looked at the voice in shock. A gentleman with a big mustache was sitting in a shiny shavani. He looked like a badass. There were many people around him and one of them said this. Nawab Sahib's mouth stopped twitching and his big eyes turned red. Nika became unconscious after seeing the second doll. Speak quickly. The dancer started to get up, but Nawab Sahib took out the goodie from his pocket and placed it in front of her. Talut was looking at him and looked angry. I was desperate to know what to do now. Talut put his hand in his pocket and then he started taking out the wads of notes. He had taken out so many goodies from his pocket that we could not fit in both of our pockets. The condition of the heroine was to be seen. The dancer started to get up and Nawab grabbed her wrist. Nawab sir, what is rude? All the sympathies of the heroine were with us. Don't talk nonsense. Today's brat is a chance for Nawab Chettan to fight. Nawab Dhara Raksa also forcibly freed his hand and came and sat in front of Talut. Nawab sir, don't spoil the party. Be careful. Nika signaled to the musicians and the instruments started playing. But the eyes of the makers were on the notes. A ghazal Resham will be sung for you now. The girl whose name was Resham addressed Talut with the introduction of her name. You definitely sing well, Talut said. Waqf tam. Nawab Sahib had stood up in anger and his spoons also echoed the sound of Nawab Chatan. The milk, that's it. Pick up the hearts and throw them out. And with that, his spoons moved towards us. I stood up quickly, understanding the delicacy of the occasion. Hey, listen. I tried to take care of the matter, but one of the Nawab's thugs grabbed me by the collar and pushed me to one side and I fell on Nika. Come on, I died. Hey, Nawabu Sandro, get rid of these fat bastards. Hey, call Ramadani Dada. And at the same time he pushed me and took me away from him. Nika groaned. I started to stand up, but Nawab Chatan's 4-foot rascal pushed me again and I fell on Nika again. I saw Talut engaged in defense, but Talot was engrossed in talking to Reshma. The party had gone bad and the spectators had fled. Nika and the gangsters were also standing in front of Nawab Chatan like wet cars. Within a minute, all the spectators ran away. Now the roommates were left except for us and Nawab Chatan and his spoons who were fighting with me. However, trouble had come to me who was resisting the hands of the Nawab's goons. This is good for the Nawab who went ahead and grabbed the silk arm and lifted it from Talut. Then Talot was shocked and looked at the Nawab angrily. Leave it, Talut said in a mysterious tone. Go away, Nawab did not know about Chettan. I will fill it with straw, Nawab said. At that moment, 2 of the Nawab's goons came forward. Their intention was to harm Talut. As they neared Talut, their faint cries were heard. The Nawab was surprised to see his 2 goons on the left and right, who were waving their hands in the air. Their faces were scared, as if someone had held them by the neck. They fell down. Talot looked at me. At that time, 2 men were holding my legs and hands and were trying to throw me away. At the same time, a strange sound came out of their mouths and they grabbed their necks and fell down on the ground. And they fell down the cliff. Then an unseen hand took the Nawab's scalp. Nawab's scalp was also bald. Chandiya was shining in the middle. Nawab turned around like a madman. But the sound of chatak spread far. Nawab Sahib's message must have been shaken. He fell down in a daze, and they started beating their hands and feet on zameen as if they were swimming. On the other hand, their men were in a bad condition. They would try to stand up, but their legs would open in such a way that they would fall down. Now, tears were coming out of his throat. Nawab Chatan also realized that there was a conflict. He thought it was safe to run away. The next moment he got up and ran towards the door. But on reaching the door, he fell on the ground 3 times. It seemed as if he was kicked from behind and he fell down. Talot was standing holding Reshama's arm in an innocent manner. Waqf tam. We'll wait for the comment. Stay safe. Greetings.